Good morning, students. So let us continue the poem Amanda. In the first few stanzas, we have seen the way parents are giving instructions to the child. Amanda, who is considered age is not given, but the way mother has given some typical instructions in a typical manner to inculcate the good manners and some etiquettes. So by that way, we could imagine a person that she would be in between 9-10 years old, right? So later on, in the last or the fourth stanza, that she imagines herself to be an orphan without parents. Why? Because she is fed up of the instructions, nagging of her parents. So that is why she imagines, and she wants to make a pattern. She wants to wander around the streets barefoot, making the pattern without any sound. So that is why she thought that especially the silence is golden and the freedom is sweet, because she is longing for the freedom. According to her, that she is not free now. She is under the stress of the parents. She is under the tense or the stress and the different responsibilities which the parents wants to do there. So that is why she imagines that I want to be an orphan. Now the next. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Right? Remember your acne, Amanda. Acne means a skin, for example, disease. Maybe, for example, pimples on the face, something skin related disease or the problem. Right? Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me while I am speaking to you, Amanda? It means here the poet wants to say that in this stanza it is necessary for Amanda. For what is necessary for Amanda? The importance of external beauty. In this stanza, parents have given the instructions about don't eat that chocolate. Be careful about, don't you remember that acne or that this is something regarding the pimples on the face. It means the parents wants to teach her that the importance, it means this appearance, external appearance is important in society. Parents are teaching. Right? Inner beauty, that is not important, but the external appearance, it means to look beautiful, that is important in society. For the parents, it means that they are teaching external beauty and the steps to be taken to preserve to it that beauty. So that is why that they are asking to her, don't eat chocolate. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you? It means by this statement, will you please look at me while I am speaking to you? When I am speaking to you, it shows that Amanda is not listening the instructions of her parents. She is not giving the attention, not paying the attention towards instructions. So that is why the parents feel irritated, or they got irritated, angry, and they are asking to her, pay your attention, give your attention here when I am speaking to you, Amanda. So in this way, especially the parents in this stanza trying to teach her the importance of external beauty in society and how to preserve it. It means from this pimples or this acne disease, do not eat chocolate. It means that they are trying to tell her that how to preserve the beauty, and plus the role of appearance in the society is given more importance, significance than the basic values in the morals, right? In the society or the creativity. Now the next stanza. One more, this stanza number 6, given in brackets. And I told you, those stanzas which are given in brackets, they show the or reflect the inner thoughts of Amanda. Now what she imagines now, in the second stanza we have seen, she imagines to be a mermaid in emerald sea, drifting blissfully. Stanza number 4 we have seen, she wants to be an orphan and wants to wander about the street barefoot, drawing the patterns without any sound. And now in this chapter, stanza number 6, that she wants to become a Rapunzel. Rapunzel, it's a kind of a German fairy tale character. Rapunzel, R-A-P-U-N-Z-E-L. Rapunzel, it's a German fairy tale character, right? Having beautiful golden hair, right? This character, Rapunzel, it was having a beautiful golden hair, this character, and so that is why. And one story is given regarding this Rapunzel. Let us learn in short about this story. Rapunzel, that she had made to live alone in a high tower because she was because she was captivated by a witch. Who this Rapunzel, this girl, that she was captivated by a witch, and she had been kept in the tower, above the tower somewhere, alone by that witch. And she had made to live alone in a high tower. It means alone, where nobody was there. So high tower, and had a very long and beautiful golden hair. And the speciality of this Rapunzel, the character, she had a very beautiful and golden hair, which she wants to be. And climbing her hair was the only way to contact her. Her hair was almost very long, and whenever somebody wants to contact her, that time, what he or she had to do, that they have to climb the hairs. They have to go up climbing the hairs of golden hair. So that lady, Rapunzel, that character, German fairy tale character, right? It means she was living alone in different manner. It means such a solitude that she used to live. So that is why Amanda, she was fed up by the instructions of the parents. She wants to get rid of the parents. So that is why she imagines herself that I want to be a Rapunzel, and I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil because that character used to live in a tower, right, at the particular height. So that is why Amanda thinks that life is there. It means at the tower it's tranquil. Tranquil means calm, still. No care, no instructions, no noise, nothing is there. Life is so calm, of the peaceful life at that place, and rare. Nobody comes there. No one would come to disturb you at that place where the Rapunzel lives, in the tower. Nobody comes to give the instructions like here the parents are giving continuously. Nobody comes to disturb your peace, only you will be there in tranquil. I will certainly never let down my bright hair. Right? But one thing that she said here, that Rapunzel, that character, she used to put down her long hair. And definitely anybody could climb up using her long hair. That Rapunzel's long hair. But here Amanda says, I would not let down my long hair. Why? Because I want peace. I do not want somebody should come there to disturb my peace. So that is why she said, I will certainly never let down my bright hair. It means my golden hair. The way Rapunzel, that character, did. And anybody could climb up there. But that mistake I would not do, because I do not want any interference, disturbance. I want peace, tranquil. So that is why she thinks that, or she imagines that, especially her life, her means that Rapunzel's life, that character's Rapunzel's life must have been very peaceful and fantastic. Who imagines? Amanda here imagines that Rapunzel's that fairy tales character's life must have been definitely peaceful and fantastic life. Why? Because she was living alone in that tower. And Amanda also, she imagines, she thinks that I want to live in the same way. Now the last color. Stop that sulking at once. Sulking means becoming angry. Sulk means to become angry or becoming upset, distressed. Right? Stop that sulking at once. Don't become angry at once, Amanda. You are always so moody. You have become so moody now. Right? You are not listening. You are not paying the attention. You are not giving the attention of the instructions of the parents or the elders. Easily that used to get irritated, losing temper. So always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you. And anyone would think that I nagged at you. Nagged means, it means, for example, to insult, to find out the faults or to irritate. Because looking at the child is sitting so nervous or the upset. Definitely anybody could think that the parents definitely they must have scolded that child. So that is why she or he is sitting in this way. So anyone would think that I nagged you. Right? At you, Amanda. It means here in this stanza, the parents that they keep almost instructing the child or her, Amanda, on do's and don'ts. What to do, what not to do. Right? They want to make her responsible. They want to make her responsible or behave responsibility in the society and be ready for the community, for the society, for the presentation. Who wants, the parent wants to make their child to learn certain things, maybe the manners, behavior, discipline, etiquettes, good things, all these things they want that my child should learn. Who want? The parents want here. One side, for example, the parents are, they are right at their place. But the poet wants to say that parents also they should understand or they must understand especially the mindset of the child. Because as a parent, if we are giving continuous instructions, if we are asking him or her, do this, don't do that, etc., do and don'ts, definitely the child would feel that he has been trapped or she has been trapped, suffocated, a feeling of suffocation, the way here Amanda feels. Right? So the poet wants to give one message that continuously nagging the children, giving the instructions and thinking that they should behave in this and this manner, it is not a good thing at all. We cannot shape a good future, form a good future in this way. Curtailing the freedom of the children. The poet says that it means that we are not giving the freedom to the child. The child is under stress now, pressure. Not having the scope for the imagination. Why? Because you think that my child should learn or he should go as per my way, as per my instructions, as per my thinking that he should become in the future. So how is it possible? So in short we could say that here the poet, he has ridiculed the parents, criticized the parents for their continuous nagging to their child, and appeal the parents that let them free, at least give them freedom, some freedom. Otherwise, see now, the condition would be just like here Amanda, the way that she thinks in stanza number 2, 4 and 6, and your children would be thinking that manner, and it is not a good thing for us and for the child also, right? So in this way The writer here has clearly given what to do, what not to do for the parents especially. And in short, we could say that the poet here highlights the struggles which are faced by the child. Here Amanda, for example, she expressed her problems. She has given her problems, but she is only the representative. She is only one child, and this problem is common with all the children. In cases of all the children. So that is why the poet says that we are responsible for the upbringing of the child. It doesn't mean that we should keep the child under pressure. That is not the meaning of that upbringing or something. Right? Because the child is having his own thoughts, his ideas, his feelings. So how could we expect that my child should behave, should go, or he should become in future as per my thinking, my idea? How is it possible? Let her or him live in the world of creativity. Maybe, for example, give the importance to her creativity, her imagination. Let them free in the world. Let them learn the things. Do not always keep in the pressure. Right? So in this manner, we have learned the things, Amanda the poem. Right? About the instructions of the parents to the child. Right? So here is the end of this poem, along with the summary in short we have discussed. Thank you and have a good day.